This video was recorded back in 2022, I believe, with the Piedmont Paranormal, Scott Reddick, who now I am a team member of. I'm super excited about that. But that was on an old platform. I figured I'd re-upload it into this platform so y'all could see it. Enjoy. So hey man, I'm here with Scott.
Yeah, man.
So I ain't seen you for a long time.
I know it's been a minute.
What? Maybe 10 years?
2013. That's when I left.
Oh wow,
left
almost
the
10
PD.
years. Yeah, 9 years. So what you been up to?
Well,
I know. That was an open question.
yeah, it's a very open question. Of course, we knew each other in law enforcement, and when I left the PD, kind of wandered for about a year, and then decided to get into EMS. So I've been walking that path for a while. Got my EMT basic, and then decided to punish myself by going to a paramedic school, and then so now I'm a paramedic. No longer with county service, but I'm working for a private company and
Nice.
living the life, man. Living the dream. It's really opened me up to be able to do the paranormal thing.
I was going to say, so the paranormal thing is like a vocation turned into an occupation kind of thing.
Very much.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Of course, you and I, we used to kind of play around with it on third shift.
Yeah, we had a few little things like woo.
Yeah, a few little things. We got some interesting recordings at one place. But, wish we'd known then to be a little bit better about how to keep and store all that evidence, because that was some pretty cool stuff.
I have no idea what that shit is.
Oh man, that was
yeah.
that little recording there in that little outhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I still have that one somewhere.
really.
Yeah, I put it on YouTube. I put it on one of my vlogs one time.
Yeah.
And I still don't know what it says.
Yeah, I can't make it out. I
can't make it out either.
I remember you posting that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fun.
So you started, I guess you and your wife?
Yes.
So y'all went, you just told me you went to Waverly Hills, is that correct?
Yeah. Well, we did it just for fun.
Right.
My wife and I, we ever since we got married, we were kind of fans of the weird. So we were big fans of the X-Files. So we ate that. I mean, when the new episode was on, we were right there glued to the TV, ready for it. And then a little bit later on, a little show called Ghost Hunters came on. And
That's the Roto-Rooter guys, right?
yeah,
Okay.
Taps.
That's it.
Yep. And we were again just glued to it, and we were like, hey, let's go to some of these places. We started learning that some of these places they were going were starting to open up to the public. So we started doing that. Started with St. Augustine Lighthouse, which they got some interesting evidence. Taps got some interesting evidence there. This shadow figure actually in the in the lighthouse peering over the edge. Well, I saw that little bastard.
Oh, so you actually saw it on Taps.
Saw it on Taps go there, and I see it up there. And me and these two other guys that were on the tour, we chased that thing all the way up to the top of that lighthouse, and got up there, and absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And
So you maybe thought it was maybe somebody like as part of the
the
gig.
We're like, it's still at that point. You're still a little bit skeptical, and you're like, maybe there's something more to this. But no, got up there, absolutely nothing, and we were like, that's absolutely crazy. So started doing it a little more, made a few more trips here and there, and then ended up at Waverly Hills, which is like
That's the Mecca, man.
it is.
Yeah.
It is the Mecca.
Waverly Hills,
Trans-Allegheny.
yeah, Trans-Allegheny,
which we just finished up an a private investigation of that. We just finished that up. St. Albans in Radford, Virginia is another sanatorium that we've been to. I wasn't able to make that. I had just started with my new job, had no vacation time. Well, I wasn't able to go, but I've got a solid enough team now that I was able to, my right hand man is Zach Bennett, and I said, hey Zach, I need you to take lead on this one. And they went out there and they knocked it out of the park. So I'm really, really, really proud of my team for that. And we've been there, Trans-Allegheny, Benton Hall in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina is another one, interesting place. And Montgomery House, which is ran by some friends. When you get into doing the paranormal, you start to network with people.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a group called Southern Entities. Chris Allgood and his wife Audra.
They, I think they're helping you out on some investigations. I see them on their YouTube channel.
Yes, they do help us out. They also have a podcast as well every Monday night. Entity Voices is really good. We were guests on it as well. But Chris is a medium.
Oh, okay.
Well. He is. He's also prior law enforcement as well. So he looks at things from not only the metaphysical side, he also sees the logical side. Where you and I come from. It's got to be evidence. There's certain criteria to call stuff evidence.
So he's part of the Southern team, right?
Southern Entities.
Okay. So let's take a step back real quick.
Yeah.
So you did it as a vacation, and then at some point you're like, I got friends, and let's form a team. Is that what happened?
Well,
kinda?
no. We got some amazing photos at Waverly,
Right.
And I was just going through them, looking through them, and I was just, when I came across these photos, I was just awestruck. And once I got over that initial shock, I looked at my wife and said, let's either join a team or form a team. And we decided to go the form a team route, and really didn't know what we were doing. So, and yeah.
So that's one of the photos. That's one of the photos I'll put up there and post.
Yeah. Yep, that's the photos were taken in order. We were getting ready to wrap up, just snapping photos. We were like, let's grab some more, get our money's worth out of this. And we were on the fourth floor where the this like shadow man is supposed to dwell.
Right.
And it looks like a shadow man to me.
Now you're talking about that dark mass right there.
That dark mass down the hallway.
All right. Do you have photos of it prior to being in that location?
No. I mean, this is back when we were first still, very, very,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Point and click going for
point
it.
and click, just doing it as a hobby. The, evidence, doing the, kind of situational awareness where you take photos of the place prior to doing your investigative photos and everything. That's those were skills we had not obtained yet.
Gotcha.
So,
well, this was just a little hobby. This was just go out and experience it.
Very much a hobby. Can be an expensive hobby. The tickets to go on some of these tours are sometimes a little outrageous, but worth it. Waverly was definitely worth it. So we got that, and we were like, let's form a team. And I think you were one of the first ones we approached about it.
I couldn't at the moment.
Yeah,
there was too much going on.
Yeah,
and I was like, I'll just sit back and help.
Yeah, and you've talked to a few people online for us about it. So you're kind of our unofficial inactive member.
Yeah. I'm like reserve.
I need to get you a shirt. that's what. But yeah, you've helped out with some stuff. We've talked to some people, got them pointed in the right direction for teams in their area. So I believe one of the ones we were talking to was in Georgia. I believe it was.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I found out she was in Georgia.
Is there a Piedmont in Georgia?
No, I think she was just doing a general search for paranormal teams and came across, and we just happened to answer up. And so I did some research and got her in contact with a team down in her area. So
What I'm amazed by is, is like I'm admin of the Facebook page, Piedmont Paranormal,
right,
and I see that all the messages, and it's always somebody asking a question or reaching out for help. It's crazy. It's a lot.
It is.
And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people are actually, experiencing stuff. So, and it's grown. Ever since we started the team, it has grown to the point where we've had to form it as an LLC. I pretty much have to run it as a second full-time job.
Oh man, that's good though.
Because we are going into people's houses. So anybody who's watching this is planning on forming a team, you still got to, if you founded this team, that you got to keep in mind one specific little word, and that's called liability.
Oh yeah, liability. My vase. You broke my vase.
That, or you make the activity worse.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Well, like even here, like you wanted to investigate here, and I'm like, nah, dude, I don't want to.
Right.
I'm good with the little bit of activity I got here. I don't want to stir it up. I get it.
Let the sleeping dog lie.
Yes. Yeah. We got a relationship here. We're good.
Yeah. And that's a very good point, though. Some people, you got to realize you've got to form a relationship with any entity in your house as well, just like your own family. Come to an understanding with them. We just wrapped up a residential investigation on Old Hollow Road in Winston-Salem.
Okay.
And they did not have a good relationship with what was going on. And they weren't going to either.
So they were totally opposed.
Yeah. They actually had two spirits there. One was the original homeowner of the house. She was there to protect the house from the other entity that was there.
Oh, okay.
And that was what is known as an elemental.
Yeah.
Elementals were never a living person.
Well, it's like either like attached to the land.
It's
Native
attached to the
American
land.
kind of thing.
Kind of ish. They are attached to stuff, like the movie, The Fifth Element. Earth, Wind, Fire. Water, type deal. But they are also referenced in the Bible in Colossians 2:8. So it's not something you can anyone sit there and say, no, it's written right here. As you got to do your research and know what you're talking about on that stuff. So fortunately, elementals are still subject to stuff like blessings and such. So we got done investigating that house. Convinced that the original homeowners told her, hey, what you were doing, stirring up the activity at work, it brought us here. Now we're here to evict this elemental.
So the elemental, you said it was somebody, the original homeowner. So it was elemental and the original homeowner in conflict? Or did I get that wrong?
Yeah. There were two separate entities there, the original homeowner and the elemental. Through doing the investigation, we were able to guide the original homeowner to the light and have them pass on. And then we performed a blessing on the house to evict the elemental out of the house. Now, the elemental's still attached to the property.
Yeah.
He can go out in the backyard, do whatever, he, she, whatever, pick your pronouns there. But,
yeah, what's your pronoun, elemental?
But, it can still go out onto the property and wreak havoc. So we do follow up with our homeowners. I just recently did our first follow up, and apparently one of his neighbors is now having activity ever since we evicted the elemental from his house.
It had to go from one spot to the other.
It went somewhere else. We've told them to contact us if they need us.
So have you done strictly residential, or have you done any properties?
No, we've done properties. We did Benton Hall. We've done Trans-Allegheny, and
Like outside properties, like the elemental in the yard?
Well, no, I tell you, gathering evidence in an outdoor environment is very tough. Where it's
it's more night vision, FLIR.
Night vision, FLIR.
Because sound is gonna be shit.
Your sound. You're gonna have aircraft going overhead. Yep. You're gonna have traffic going by. You're gonna have animals that are gonna mess with your equipment. You're gonna have any number of things that can happen.
That's true.
The weather alone, the wind blows.
Yeah, that's like maybe possible like a battleground or like that elemental if you want it off the property.
It would have to be one of the more prominent battlegrounds that we're going to do. We've discussed going to Gettysburg.
Oh, okay.
And maybe the battleground here in Greensboro as well. Yeah. But I don't know of a whole lot of activity that's been reported here in Greensboro.
No, so, I was just thinking about it myself. I was like, the battleground's it's kind of just a nice place.
It's a nice place to visit and learn your history, but I don't know about from a paranormal standpoint. So, open air places are really kind of hard. Now, we'll do them if we have to. If it's pertinent to the investigation, then we will. But we haven't really gone into that yet, just because of some of the limitations. Involved.
Yeah. So, what do you think? So, like, imagine if he's going to do an outside place, Skinwalker Ranch, a place you'd want to do outside.
Well,
stuff.
That's another show where we're keeping close tabs on, and I don't know if they happen to come across this podcast or not, but one of the thing I've noticed is they're being listened to. Every time they make a plan, it's they do it right there in that office, and there's somebody listening to them, and they're as soon as they come up with a plan, they're immediately behind the 8 ball. So my suggestion would be to go get a cup of coffee somewhere.
And go to a Bohongles and sit there and talk about it.
Yeah, leave your cell phones in the car and have a little conversation. So
like when you get an investigation together, when you're like, hey, we're going to investigate this place. Mm-hmm. So what's all involved logistics wise? You got your equipment, you got your people, you got your scheduling.
The logistics that's 90% of the job.
Yeah,
of doing this is trying to get people lined up for the investigations. You say a word like Tala or Trans-Allegheny, and everybody's raising their hands.
Yeah.
When we first started the team, I tried to get a few investigations together, and people were like, I don't know, and I can't say. We've had some people said, showed interest in the team that finally I had to say, listen, I got to put people together that are going to be willing to do this. And unlike you, they weren't answering up on the messenger and talking to people and everything. And I finally just had to say, look, we're going to have to move on.
Well, it's fun to be a part of it. Like, I know my limitations. I know I don't have enough hours in a day to do it.
Right.
And so, like when you're like something cool comes up, I'm like, I'll stick in the background, shadow wise.
Yeah. But fortunately, we've got 9 on the team now.
Nice. That's a good number, man. That's a lot. Yeah.
Well, that's a good enough number. So if we've got multiple things going on at a time, if we got 2 investigations going on, I can take part of the team to one location. Zach can take the rest of the team to another location. So we can cover 2 fronts if we need to. But then again, I've got some that are willing to go all hands, on deck for some stuff. We've got another residential coming up that we're pretty much going to have an all hands on board type deal. Which is going to be interesting since it's a single wide trailer trying to get 9 people.
Ooh, yeah. Stay out in the van. You got to run the the command center.
We're going to rotate them in. We do have a command center type setup. laptop, and we've got to get a new DVR system. The one we got, I initially bought, was kind of cheap.
That's the thing, man. Yeah,
So-
you buy those like Chinese knockoffs, and
Yeah.
it's hard to get. Yeah, dude. You know, investigations. You go to a security place. You're like, "Hey, can I download your video? This robbery happened." And they're like, "Oh, it's Fei Hong or something." And you're like, "I don't know how to. I don't know where
Yeah. You know, half the screen is in Chinese, and trying to figure out, where does it just say play?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So yeah, we're talking about gear. So like, gear is an important part of collecting evidence.
Yes.
You got, you got your electromagnetic stuff. You got your visual stuff. So talk about your gear you got.
Well, I mean, for anyone out there doing it as a hobby, you've got your gear in your hand right there.
Oh yeah, your phones. Yeah.
There's plenty of apps out there. You got to do your research on the apps. There are some out there that are absolute crap.
Yeah.
And then there are some that you gotta read the reviews and everything. If you're going to do this, seriously, you got to read the reviews, and you can start investigating as a hobby right away. Now, when you get to the level we're at, you've got to make an investment.
Oh yeah.
We've got one equipment bag alone that's probably got about $2,500 worth of gear in it, between cameras, audio recorders, computers. Got my laptop right here. That's part of that bag as well. So you got to be willing to make the investment, not only in the equipment but the software to do the proper reviews with. And of course, you got travel expenses too. I mean,
you got to pay for the tickets to go to certain places.
Tickets to go,
and travel.
Trans-Allegheny is, that's what, a 4-hour drive from here. So, you got to be willing to drop some money into it, which is another advantage of, going with the LLCs. Now I can write this stuff off.
You can write off on taxes now. Yeah. So, that's true.
But that's you got to be willing to commit to that. And I've got members who are willing to do it. We're got 2 members that have thermal cameras.
Nice. Those are expensive.
Yeah. We've got actual live listening EVP recorders now, where you plug your headset in, you hit record, you can hear everything that it records.
Oh, I gotcha. So it's like in real time.
I keep pointing to my pocket because I've got it in my pocket here.
Real time kind of recording.
That's kind of paranormal investigator. I carry my EVP recorder with me. So. I don't know why. I just do. You never know where you might need to drop it down.
I've always wanted one of those paranormal pucks or obelisk or what are those new things? It's not newish, but it's newer. Nick Groff was the first one to see to use it. It's like where it echoes.
A portal box.
Thank you. That's it. I could not think of the name for that.
Yeah, a portal box. We are actually looking into a portal as well. The one where it's kind of custom built for our needs, and it's. I mean, you talked about an investment. That one alone is going to be $700.
Yeah.
So
there's a guy on TikTok I follow that he does a lot of the portal box stuff, and it's creepy.
Yeah.
Some of the voices just kind of fade in. Some are very strong. I'm always wary of people that do it for clout chasing, because you could easily broadcast a voice if you want to say whatever you want to.
Well,
ultrasound
or
or something.
You can. That's where it's not really new technology coming along, but it's something that's making a resurgence. A method called direct radio voice. It's
I've never heard of that before.
Originally developed by Mario Bacci in Italy. It's where you tune a radio to just white noise. You do, or whatever you need to do to just generate white noise.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a radio receiver, but typically done with shortwave radios.
Like is that the spirit box?
Well,
or is that different?
Yes, and the spirit box scans through channels.
Yeah.
Direct radio voice stays on one specific channel to receive, and it's nothing but white.
Oh.
There's absolutely nothing on that channel.
Oh, okay, I got you. That's different than scanning. It's just one
Yeah,
constant.
yeah, and Ron Yacovetti in New York and Tony Rathman in Arizona are really big into this type of method, and they are getting some amazing results.
Really?
I've been talking with both of them to get our direct radio voice set up. It is an absolute grind. I tell you what, there's a huge learning curve with
Really?
direct radio voice.
I know with a direct radio voice, it seems like it could be easier to manipulate. Put voices on. But with the scanning, it seems like if you got a complete sentence over 20 channels, that'd be harder to. Yeah.
Well, here's something that was absolutely amazing that Ron Yacovetti was able to do. He took his direct radio voice to a cave. They went on an investigation of, I forget exactly where it was at. He's so far in, not even cell phone, could get signals. There's no way anything could have been broadcast to it, and they were almost having a conversation like you and I are right now with an entity, and so that's probably the next step in paranormal investigation is, reproducible, direct communication with, spirits.
Right.
And once we are able to do that at a reproducible level, there are scientists who are on board and recognize, paranormal existence.
Well,
I think once we get to that level of, the level of communication that, as Ron says, that we pay the cell phone companies every month for, being able to speak to spirits, that quality of communication with them, then we're going to be looking at a whole new scientific field out there, and that is highly recognized by the scientific community. So, and I think we're really on the edge of it now. The work that Ron and Tony are doing is really pushing that forward.
So soon there'll be like some kind of big break with it or something. You think?
I believe
like
so.
the body of Bigfoot. You finally find it.
Yeah, we're finally, we're gonna have a spirit speak up. And say, yeah, he's in a cave over here in Washington State somewhere. Something like that. So, we're gonna have spirits narking out others. So.
Oh yeah, it's a matter of time. Yeah. Oh, but they do somewhat now, or at least we put labels on them. Like if you got multiple spirits, like the elemental and then the homeowner, we kind of go, well, this is what the evidence shows, this is what the history shows. Yeah, and a lot of it comes down to your gut feeling. It
is. It is. It would have been easy to call that elemental demonic. If when we went into that house, the activity we were getting, the it not responding to religious attempts. The homeowner tried doing, holy water and, saging the house and all kinds of stuff. And he was, you can do certain things, and then it's also kind of, if you don't do your research, you're kind of half-assing it. So, you got to make sure you know what you're dealing with and how to deal with it. So that's our number one goals.
So the research prior to an investigation is very important. Something like Transatlantic the Gallery, everybody knows. You just show up and do it.
Yeah, the research is already done for you. But like you go into a private residence, you need to go pull up your property tax records and find out who's owned this house, and then go if it's got a long ownership history. Start looking through obituaries, finding out what happened to this person. You can learn a lot about them as to what type of life they lived, how they passed away, what religion they were.
Oh yeah.
So, religion plays a big part in this. The you know, and I don't want it to come out sounding like those who practice any kind of paganism or anything or bad or anything, because it's like any other religion. You have your good people, you have your bad people. Christianity is the same way. Judaism, the whole deal. You got good people, you got bad people in all of them. If you come across someone, the one of the bad ones, no matter what religion they're in, but some like the Wiccan and stuff, they like to play, some of them like to play around with Ouija boards and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Our team, I have a rule on our team of no Ouija boards. You could end up opening something you can't close.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it can be dangerous.
This and a lot of times you get you could find something where somebody has done something like that and they did not know how to close it, and you now have a portal, straight to hell, and you got all kinds of demons coming through and whatnot. And you also got to, if you run into that situation, you got to also know the rules too. If you suspect you've got a demon and you get a name come across a piece of equipment, don't repeat that name. Don't say it.
Yeah. I was having a conversation with somebody about that. I was like, you don't say their names. I'm like, what do you mean don't say their names? I'm like, you don't say their names.
You start to invoke them.
Yeah.
If we get it on a piece of equipment, of course, you're fine with writing it out. That's fine, but don't say the name. Because, like I said, once you start saying the name, you start personally invoking that spirit or that entity into your existence. So,
have y'all dealt with any serious stuff like that before yet?
We suspected one. Possibly it was suspected there at Trans-Allegheny. We never could confirm anything. There is what they call the creeper on the fourth floor of Trans-Allegheny.
Walls, ceilings, he's all over the place.
Yeah,
right?
all over the place. Now, it was easy for some people to call that a demon. However, we have a different theory now on that there's a specific room in there. It's called the bedpost murder room. Occupant of that room, his name was Dean, and then his two roommates had gotten in there, and then they brutalized him in that room, tried to hang him, and eventually killed him by putting the post of his bed on his head and then jumping on it. And it is somewhat suspected now, but at least by our team, we have a suspicion that the creeper is actually Dean, traveling the hallways.
See, I've always wondered about, like, you just described a murder scene, and I know with certain forensics, evidence is still there, like with luminol or blue star or something like that. Or, the iron or the hemoglobin in the blood will still be there somewhere.
Yeah,
and I wish it was more. I wish some investigations were more like a crime scene.
That would be very good. It's one of those things, again, with situational awareness for us now. I no longer have a badge or a gun. If I come across something that looks like a crime scene, everybody's backing out.
Yeah.
And we're dialing 911 saying, hey, we might have something you want to look at. So.
Yeah, I did forensics for like 5 years, hardcore. I got like 200 plus hours in crime scene management and forensics. And so I started thinking about stuff like that. I'm like, there's got to be leftover evidence to confirm.
There's got to be.
Because it's easy to say, well, this person was killed in this room. Like, how do you know?
Yeah. Well,
urban legend.
A place like Trans-Allegheny, that one's going to be documented very well. The private investigator, the homeowner with the elemental and the original homeowner. The current homeowner's wife passed away in the bathroom. She had a heart attack in there.
Oh, okay.
So that's documented.
Documented, yeah.
But we had no paranormal evidence to suggest that she was there.
Gotcha.
We think she successfully passed on. But yeah, it's you get somewhere where there's been a homicide or something. There's got to be some kind of trace evidence.
Yeah, that stays.
But
You just gotta,
the question is, from our point of view, is do you want to open that can of worms?
no, you just want to see if there's any evidence of a thing left over, or a spirit, or morphed into something else, or summoned.
Yeah, that's a good point there.
Yeah.
But like I said, if we come across a yard full or a basement full of bones, we're going to be like, nobody told us about this. We just found it. Everybody out.
Yeah.
So,
I've seen a lot of shows. I watch the shows. We all watch the shows.
oh yeah.
And they'll roll up and they're like, "Oh, I found this right here," and it's like, "Dude, don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
Don't touch it." I mean, they don't have no crime scene experience, but I'm like, you can prove that this is blood or just red.
Yeah.
But it's just weird. It's like I think about that sometimes. So what's the future of the Piedmont Paranormal Society or team?
We're getting the official company name is Piedmont Paranormal Investigations and Research, and the research is going to be a big part of that. Here, especially with direct radio voice.
Yeah.
Our specialty right now is sensory deprivation.
Now, I saw that there was a female.
That's my wife.
Okay, I wasn't sure because it had that full thing on.
Yeah.
And so explain that to me. So apparently,
so the theory is with any kind of EVP recording,
right.
spirit box capture, or any, which is spirit box is a big part of sensory deprivation. That timing and relevance equals intelligence for these.
Certain question, a certain intelligent response.
Yeah. If you get, you ask a question, and within a few seconds you get a response that is relevant to that question, you are speaking with, something intelligent.
Yeah. Not just a residual.
Right. So sensory deprivation cuts out the, I guess, some of the bullshit factor of it. So you have someone, what we can refer to as being in the hot seat.
Okay. Okay.
So you're sitting there. We have noise canceling Bluetooth earbuds. Wearing a pair of gun range earmuffs over that, and blindfolded.
Yeah. Okay.
So you have you are sensory deprived of both sight and sound. So,
well, and then she would blurt out a word. Is it a word that came to her mind? Or something?
No. What it is those Bluetooth earbuds are connected to the spirit box.
Oh, okay.
So we start asking questions, and she is repeating what she hears over the spirit box.
I got you.
She cannot hear our questioning. And as that video that you saw, she was sitting there. We were asking questions. We had actually a pretty humorous response come across. We're all laughing around, and she's just sitting there, stone cold.
I watched the YouTube video on your Piedmont Paranormal YouTube channel. And
shameless plug. Yeah.
No, we're gonna plug it here in a minute before we quit. And y'all were having a jovial time, but it was on purpose.
Exactly. Yes. The third floor of Trans-Allegheny Violent Women's Ward. Apparently, they like the men to come across that ward. So we had sent Zach and his dad up there in 2021. It was at a point where I wasn't able to go. I was, again, didn't have a whole lot of vacation time.
Right.
And I had also got COVID around that time as well. So, that kind of knocked me out of the loop to go on that one. So Zach and his dad go up there to represent the team, and they learned on that investigation that if you kind of create this party-like atmosphere on that ward, you get some very interesting results over spirit box and EVP and stuff like that.
Okay.
So we were like, well, we're gonna step it up a notch. We're gonna do that again. We're gonna do it with sensory deprivation.
Gotcha.
And we got timing and relevance to either what was going on at the time or the questioning that was going on. So it was actually a fairly long session. The video that you saw was just one segment of it.
Oh, okay.
I'm still working on producing the video of the other segment, for it as well. So we collected got a pretty good amount of evidence off that just one session.
Nice.
So yeah.
So let's plug it. So you got your Facebook page,
Got our Facebook page,
and you got your YouTube channel.
YouTube channel.
Are you on Twitter, Instagram?
We are on
TikTok?
We are on Instagram as well.
Instagram? Okay.
Instagram as well. We haven't really focused a whole lot on the Instagram side.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I can only do so much to try.
Yeah. Well, I
keep
totally
this
get it.
stuff
Formatting's a little different for Instagram than it is Facebook.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I know that they're both linked together somehow, and somehow the stuff we put out on the Facebook page ends up on Instagram.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
"Oh, that works for me."
Yeah, that's the way to do it there.
No,
So do you have a website yet?
no, we are working on that.
Okay.
Since we did get the LLC, that was actually just finalized up last week.
Nice.
So, and now we're going to be putting the website together. So, well, with the LLC, it opens me up to be able to open business accounts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It gives me a lot more leeway and in what we can do. We have a general idea of how we want to format the website, and once it's up, it's probably going to be one of our primary information sources. But right now, YouTube and Facebook are the big ones. I'm trying to really get the YouTube channel rolling.
Yeah, I see that. So what are the names of them so people can search at?
Gosh. On Facebook, it is Piedmont Paranormal Investigation Team, I think is the name of it. I can never keep this stuff.
And do the same thing. It's like, what's your phone number? I'm like, I don't know my phone number. I just dial other people.
Yeah, I know. I don't ever call myself.
Yeah. I do that
see
sometimes.
here. Pull it up.
See if I can pull it up, man.
Yeah.
And yeah. So yeah. And
you got that. And then
links probably to a YouTube channel as well, right?
Yeah,
From
Piedmont Paranormal. Investigations
Look
on.
at you.
Yeah, man. We're trying to get content up on it as fast as we can. You can see the progression of my video production skills.
Yeah.
Through some of them where one just had a logo on there and then some evidence and then that was it, and to where I'm getting like animations in there and sound and all kinds of stuff.
Dude, to start, you gotta start somewhere.
Oh yeah.
And I've learned big time that as long as you're putting something out, eventually it gets down to an art. You finally get a style to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the same thing with this podcast. I mean, we went from a cell phone sitting here and we're talking to one camera. Now I got multiple cameras and I got multiple microphones.
Yeah.
And it's going to get better from here.
Oh, yeah.
I get better backgrounds. But anyway, so anything you want to say before we close it out?
No, just keep tracking us on Facebook and YouTube and see what adventures we come across with next. We do have another home investigation coming up, and then we have been invited to a private investigation of the USS North Carolina.
Oh, nice.
Coming up this month, actually.
Have fun at the beach.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yes, there's just going to be 10 of us on board that ship.
I got real claustrophobic when I was on there. I don't know if I could do an investigation on that place.
Yeah. I'm a Navy guy. Yeah, I was in the Navy, so I'm going to feel right at home. I've already got a few experiments I want to try. I've already purchased like this little small ship's bell. I'm gonna go ring
Oh,
it. I've got
get a bosun's whistle.
I'm talking to a friend of mine who was a bosun's mate, and see if I can't get him to record some stuff for us. Yeah, yeah, and see if we can get some reactions.
Yeah,
So
that'd be cool, man.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so stay tuned for that.
You get your podcast going, man. Hang on. After this, I'll show you how easy it is to get a podcast going. It's free.
Oh, really?
So using Anchor. So Anchor, Navy guy. So it's perfect.
There you go.
All right. Well, hey. Also, if you have any, and the thing about it, if you go to the Facebook page and message them, they're really quick to respond. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's them. Most time it's your wife, though, isn't it? She's on top of it.
She has done it a few times. Zach has been on it.
Okay.
Everett, one of our investigators, has been on it. You've been on top of it as well. So, we if you're an admin on the page, then you get the little beep. You know.
Yeah, it's not constant, but I mean it's a lot. You'll get at least 5 a week.
Yeah,
you know?
Something
it's
like
crazy.
that.
And I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, we get quite a bit going here. So.
Well, cool, dude. I'm happy for you. I can't wait to hear some more evidence you got and stuff like that. So just stay tuned.
Absolutely.